Listen, am I the most attractive girl in the world? No. But do I have a great personality? Also no. But do I wake up every morning and try and be the best person I can be? No.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we bring you a story about a woman who shares how her fiancé's ex-wife ended up in the hospital due to her envy and manipulation. Also, we have a woman telling us that if a man can't buy a ring that costs more than 3 months of a six-figure salary, he's not an alpha male. We want to invite you to smash that like button and help us reach 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year and get our first plaque. That's the only support we ask from you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement, share your experience in the comments for any man who needs it, and without further introduction, let's get started.
How much an alpha man should cough up for a wedding ring?
An alpha man? Oh, I can't wait to hear how much an alpha man should spend on a wedding ring.
From my understanding, a guy should be spending 3 months' salary on a ring.
Traditionally, that has been customary. However, that is not at all required. A lot of women are very happy with rings that cost a lot less. However, I'm sure that there's more to this.
So if that isn't 6 figures, you probably shouldn't be getting married.
Holy classist mentality, Batman. To actually have the audacity to say that if a person doesn't make 6 figures in 3 months, then they have no business getting married. Is one not aware that the average American doesn't even make 6 figures in a year? I guess there's a lot of people, in one's opinion, that shouldn't be getting married. But there's more.
Like, if he's not spending that, does he really love you, or does he just want a hot trophy wife?
What? Now, how exactly did that make any sense? But moreover, it's my opinion that any woman that would expect a man to spend 6 figures on her wedding ring is not after the man himself for who he is. She's only after his money.
Oh, hell no!
We've talked on this channel about how a man's social value is tied to his level of success, while a woman's is tied to her level of beauty. But here's the thing. On the wedding day, only one of them is getting married for love, and that's the man. The woman is in it for the lifestyle. Many of these women only care about the ring and the wedding. Women who think like this one are clearly not wife material. It's well known that if a couple planning to get married doesn't pay proper attention to the costs of living together, they might end up breaking up due to financial issues. So I ask you, what's more important? Spending an insane amount on a ring that will only be a loss in the long run, or buying a modest ring and having a modest wedding, but using that money for your long-term life project? Because there are rings that could easily finance a house. These are the tests a man should put his woman through, whether she's more interested in a ring and a big wedding or in our future together.
Am I the asshole for putting shit on my fiance's copycat baby mama during her wedding? I, female 32, got with my fiance, male 40, about 2 years ago. My future husband has 3 kids with his ex. For context, fiance and I have been engaged for a year, and I've been having fun looking at all kinds of wedding ideas, from themed weddings to small and intimate weddings. I even looked at destination weddings and weddings outdoors. Now, biomom, female 37, is jealous and evil. Like supervillain level evil. Why do I say this? Because she cheated on my fiance not once, but twice, and gave him STDs for her efforts. Somehow, I magically cast a spell on her and made her sleep around before I even met her. Because she says I'm the reason there are problems to my 3 stepkids. Male 7, female 12, female 16. But luckily, the oldest of my stepkids knows her bullshit and tells the other kids to ignore her.
Oh, that's good.
Now, baby mama found her fabulous husband on Bumble. And while I normally try to stay away from baby mama and her bullshit completely, I took issue with her telling the kids that this joker is their real daddy and to call him as such, which the kids told me and future husband made them uncomfortable. And she then commanded them to start calling my fiance by his first name. Nope, not on my watch. I confronted her about it when she came that evening to get the kids and told her it was inappropriate to demand these things of the kids. How would you feel if fiance did this? Bear in mind, this woman is high conflict on steroids, so I was ready for a fight. Instead, she smiled sweetly at me, although it didn't meet her eyes, and told me I was absolutely right, and then thanked me for helping her to see the error of her ways.
There's something every man should know, and this can be confirmed by divorced men or those who have had very toxic partners. The ex always tries to influence your life, especially when you have kids. How do they do it? They try to turn the kids against you, or make sure they don't get along with the father's future partners. This is even worse when she's the one who asked for the divorce or cheated and ruined the marriage because they do it out of pure envy and jealousy toward your new partner. What is this man's ex-wife doing? She's causing a violent reaction from the father of her children and the stepmother so she can play the victim in front of the kids or get into the head of the father and his new woman. Women won't hurt you with physical force, but they will with psychological attacks and manipulation. But let's continue with the story.
She shifted some as I stared at her like she had 12 heads, when I noticed behind her that the car I had recently told my fiancé and my stepkids that I wanted was parked behind her with the hazards on. It was even in my favorite color, green. Baby mama hates the color green, having stated at one point or another that it makes her think of rotting food or the Wicked Witch of the West. I stared at the car and she noticed, and that's when the most sadistic grin came across her face. I kept my cool and tossed my head up at the aforementioned vehicle, asking, "New ride?" Her smirk never left her face as she told me that her fiancé got it for her as a wedding gift, as he insisted his new family ride in style. Mind you that the car is a Land Rover, and that is well above the financial capabilities of this woman and her fiancé combined. That's not a shot. That's a genuine observation. My fiancé and I helped out BioMom last year with taxes, so we know exactly how much she makes. About 2 months ago, there was a period of calm with BioMom where we weren't friends or even really friendly, but cordial. She started telling me about all the wedding plans she had coming up and wanted an extra opinion. I was a little taken aback, especially when I know she knows the kids, my fiancé and myself, though I haven't publicized my opinion, not my monkey and not my circus, all think them getting married after going on 3 dates over 3 weeks, suddenly moving in and now getting married after a max of barely 3 months of knowing one another and being involved with each other is a terrible and possibly dangerous idea. Baby mama doesn't know this guy. What if he's a serial killer or hurts kids? The safety of the kids is the responsibility of every adult that is in their lives, and this seems psychotically irresponsible to me. But again, I step back and keep my thoughts to myself, allowing fiancé and my stepkids to voice their feelings. That being said, instead of asking if she lost her mind, I nodded politely and said, "Sure thing." She asked what I thought of dark blue for bridesmaids' dresses, and I shrugged, asking in response if that's what she wanted. She said she wasn't sure and was curious what colors I was planning on having. Quote, "So we don't have the same thing."
Oh my God.
I do know my colors, wine, emerald green, and gold, but I wasn't about to make the mistake of telling her this. I saw the trap laid before me as soon as the lies were out of her mouth, and without missing a beat, I said, "Brown." Just so everyone is aware, I detest the color brown. She stared. "Brown?" I nodded. "Brown. I feel like I want a very earthy and nature-based wedding, like complete with a soil bonding ceremony." For the record, soil bonding is not a thing. I totally made it up. And I told her that's where you stick your hands in a freshly dug up and fertilized pile of soil, touch your hands to your significant other's cheeks, and vow to return to the earth with them.
What did I tell you? Pure and simple manipulation. Women are the most territorial beings out there. They're so selfish that even after leaving you as a partner, they still consider you their property. Since they don't like admitting they're wrong, they always try to make the father's life miserable with the new woman. What is she doing? She's trying to manipulate the kids and the new wife, listening to what she wants and then doing it herself first. Just like the stepmother says, she doesn't know this man. She's rushing to get married just to do it before the stepmother with the ex-husband. The ex-wife probably doesn't even love her new boyfriend, but she wants to make herself feel important, just like she did by buying that SUV. This clearly shows how women make emotional decisions, which is why they always end up regretting their stupid choices because they act on emotion. That's why, after they fail, they want us to feel sorry for them because, as we know, responsibility is kryptonite for women. But let's see, this is where the video gets good.
Bio mom looked at me and made a face, saying, "Oh, interesting." Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, and her wedding came. I hadn't forgotten about what I'd said, but I didn't really think about it, and it didn't really matter what baby mama chose in the end, as fiance and I weren't invited to the wedding, nor did we want to go. Jump to last weekend, and my oldest stepdaughter called me and asked me to come get her and her siblings from urgent care. I was flying out the door when I asked what happened, and she explained that her mom and stepdad had gotten ringworm and brought home a couple of other things from the soil/manure combo they used at their wedding, and didn't know about it until they became very symptomatic.
Oh.
I told my fiance about what happened, and he laughed hysterically until he cried. He called his brother to tell him what happened. His brother and my fiance's ex hate each other, but to my shock, my future brother-in-law said this was absolutely not funny, and people could have been seriously hurt or worse as a result of my shenanigans and petty behavior.
Oh, please.
My fiance stood up for me, saying that high conflict baby mama decided for herself to do this, and who in their right mind would smear fresh manure on their faces?
Oh my God. I cannot believe that the brother said that was crossing the line.
Brother-in-law called me a schmuck, saying I was the asshole in the situation, and even went so far as to say this could be classified as attempted murder.
What? Is this guy okay?
My fiance said not to worry about it, but now I'm actually wondering if I did something wrong.
No.
Am I the asshole?
You didn't do anything wrong. So if she said she wanted to get married and then jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, that woman would have done it. It's stupid, but envy blinds people. She wanted to be the first to do what the stepmother planned for her wedding just to ruin her party, or to say that the stepmother copied everything from her. Here we can see how women, driven by emotional decisions, are capable of smearing horse manure on their faces just to achieve their goals. It serves her right for being envious, and the new boyfriend must be crazier than she is for going along with it. The stepmother's fiancé's brother should keep his opinion to himself. No one threatened her to smear her face with manure. It's because of men like him, who don't let women face the consequences of their own decisions, that we live in a world where they want to do whatever they please with men. So she deserved what happened to her because of her envious actions.
If you have not heard of the 369 rule, allow me to enlighten you. This is a common phenomenon used to describe the stages in a relationship. So if you ever plan on being in one, then let me explain to you what this is. So the first 3 months of dating or talking to somebody, this is the honeymoon phase. Things are going to be super easy. You guys are just going to be like madly in love with each other. Next, when 6 months hit, this is where things are going to start to get rocky. That honeymoon phase is over. You guys have been with each other long enough now to know each other's faults, and some things start to bother you. However, the last phase, when you make it to 9 months, this is when things start to calm down. And since you made it through that 6-month period where things were really hard, this is how you know you guys are going to stay together and that you have a really good relationship. 9 months is kind of when you start acting like a married couple. But disclaimer, guys, 369 continues. It's like a cycle that repeats itself. So don't be surprised if you go through these exact same stages after 9 months. If you guys want more tips and tricks on relationships, I'm your girl.
There's a statistic that says marriages in the United States that end within their first year range from 10% to 12%. In relationships, there's what she calls the infatuation stage, that period where everything is beautiful. The man courts the woman more. There's probably more intimacy and desire because everything is new and exciting. But the key here is not to live in that stage, because over time, the relationship needs to mature. The mistake happens when people get married after just a few months and then don't even last a year because, in reality, they didn't love each other. They just had a good time for a few months. They hadn't spent enough time together to see what was really in store. That's why you see women going from man to man, because they never mature and move beyond the infatuation stage. That's why I always recommend to men that before deciding to marry someone, live together for a while first. Observe how that person treats you, because how they treat you will be how your married life will be. Once you sign that contract with the state, You're one step away from your life being wonderful, but also one step away from being financially ruined. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Is the woman an idiot for what she did to her fiancé's ex-wife? Would you buy a woman a ring worth more than $10,000 to marry you? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.